everyone, welcome back to Taji's World of Books and welcome to another book recommendation video. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and so this is going to be part 2 of my K Webster deep dive. I've got 9 books to get through today. They are all super steamy, they're all amazing. You guys know I love K Webster. If you want spice, if you want if you want taboo, if you want dark, if you want all the steam and smut all wrapped up into a psychological, intriguing novel, then you are at the right place because we're going to deliver today. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first book that I want to talk about is El Malo. And El Malo is, and most of what I like about K Webster is like it's their tastes, right? Like you can get through them, they're like candy, you just gobble them up. So I've just been gobbling them down for you guys. So El Malo it takes place in Acapulco. I believe it's Acapulco, Mexico? I believe that's where it is, but it's in Mexico. And El Malo is the baddie, he's the jefe, he is the king of the drug cartel. And the significant love interest in this story, her name is Rosa. And it starts off when Rosa is very young. She is with her mother and something happens to her, and as a result, everybody that she loves is murdered. And we find that they are murdered by a drug cartel. So as a result, she decides that she is going to become better than her family and rise above and rid the world of these drug cartels. Okay, so then fast forward many years forward, and she is working as a housekeeper, the top housekeeper to Javier Estrada. And Javier Estrada is El Malo. And her job is to go deep, get lots of information, find out what's going on for him, because obviously she's working undercover. And what we find out very quickly is that she's working undercover for the CIA. And so this book does a really good job because what you think is good is bad and what you think is bad is good. So she has a contact that she works with through the CIA that she's supposed to give information to, and she meets with him. She goes out into the town. It's very dangerous to meet with him, to give him information. So she's walking a dangerous path. And this book is so good because you're just like, because the one thing that K Webster does is she gives you your HEA. The characters have to work for their HEA. And you are like, how is she going to, as a CIA agent, and she's developed this relationship with El Jefe, you know, El Malo, like how is that going to work out? And you got to hang in there, but it delivers. In every book that I'm going to talk about in this review, they are all trigger warnings, so you have to check out the trigger warnings. Usually Kay is pretty good about telling you, like at the very beginning of the book, she says this book is a dark romance and it's not recommended for those that have trigger warnings or know the trigger warnings and know what you get into, right? So it's all there. But this is so good. And and again, like I told you, Kay gives you an epilogue at the end, and it's a little taste of what happens like 5 years later in terms of where the characters are. It delivers in spades. So if you're into drug cartels, if you're into dangerous CIA intrigue, trying to figure out who's the bad guy, figure out what's going on behind the scenes in terms of the plot and layers to the plot, this definitely delivers in spades. That's El Malo. Okay, so of this batch, I think that this is probably my favorite of all of these books. This is so good, and it's called The Day She Cried, and man, oh man, does this go deep. Okay, so this story, I'm not going to tell you much because it surprises you in so many ways, okay? So the main character is friends with this girl named Whitney. And Whitney, so the main characters are Courtney, Whitney, Rome, and Raven. Rome and Raven are twins. Courtney and Whitney are best friends. Courtney is a cheerleader and so is Whitney. And what you find very quickly is that Courtney goes along with whatever Whitney says, and Whitney is a terrible person. They catfish someone, which means that they basically pretend to be someone other than who they are, and as a result, some things happen. I'm not going to say what happens or how it all comes out because I think you should go into it blind. But when I say to you that this book delivers in spades, this is a 5 out of 5 star for sure. It is so good. It's so heartbreaking. It's so beautiful. It's so angsty. It's amazing. Amazing. You're going to cry. You're going to laugh. You're going to be appalled. You're going to be surprised. It's going to give you, you're going to have like, you're going to run through the gamut of emotions as you're reading this book. And she takes you on a ride and you're happy to go on that ride with her. And you're so happy at the end, but at the same time, you're so shocked because you didn't see it coming because there's a plot twist in here. And it is deep, deep, deep. It's a dark romance for sure. It's a bully romance for sure. It is an enemies to lovers situation. It delivers in so, I cannot say to you, if you guys haven't read anything of K Webster's, which I don't know why you haven't, you need to trust me on this and do that. But if you haven't read anything by K Webster and you like romantic suspense, check this out because this book delivers in spades. A 5 out of 5 star for sure. Okay, so then the next book, I wanted to go ahead and add this. I didn't read it this go round, but I've read it previously, and I forgot to add it in my last book, and I want to make sure that I cover all the books of K Webster that I have read. And this is My Tauren, and I loved this story. This story is about a girl. I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis. This is about a girl who is a misfit. She's abandoned, she's not loved, she's not supported, she's put into the foster care system. As a result of being in the foster care system, she's abused, and it just is a terrible situation. And she's discovered and found by these two brothers, and they basically are independently wealthy, and they take her in. And she is confused because she doesn't know what's going on and what they expect of her. And one brother, Torin, is obviously clearly on the autism spectrum, and the other brother is the brother that sort of takes care of everything. So let me say, this book is tragic and sad and beautiful and gorgeous, and it speaks to the human condition, and it speaks about unconditional love and support and guidance, and it also speaks about the cruelty of people. And so there's a part, like, as I think about it, there's a part in here when, and I don't want to give away too much, when her biological family finds them and the things that they do. And this story is beautiful. It is so, I love it because it shows the depth that Kay can go to. She can give you smut. She can give you light and fluffy. She can give you deep. She can give you suspense. She can give you romantic. She can give you comedy. She can get, like, you can, she's the only writer that I know of, and if you guys know other writers, let me know, but she's the only writer that you can go, let me pick one of Kay's books. I want something light and fluffy. Oh, let me grab this. Or I want something deep and heavy. Let me grab this. Or I want something in between. Like, she's got something for everybody. So this is definitely like survival. And it's about love, and it's about commitment, and it's about found families and being able to work together and support each other regardless of what other people think and say. And it's so good. It's going to touch your heart in so many ways. It's a 5 out of 5 star. Don't sleep on it. Really good. And the audiobook is amazing. And all of these that I'm going through are on audiobook. Okay, so then this one, Wicked Lies Boys Tell. This is about Copeland and Penn. And here's the thing, I like this. This is an MM romance, and I like this story. However, it wasn't long enough. Like, I felt like it didn't go as deep as I would have. I would have liked it to be fleshed out more. It read more like a novella to me that was like just a snippet of what's going on with Cope and Penn. And it definitely is a enemies to lovers, love-hate. It's a bully type high school romance. These guys were once friends, and as a result of something happening, they fall out of favor with one another. There's definitely something going on in the backstory with the characters' dads in this small town that they live in. And they definitely get their HEA, but you know, they're not, it's all about being honest with yourself about what you feel and getting away from labels and not labeling yourself, and being honest not only with what you feel about yourself, like your own sexuality, but being honest with your partner. And so that's why it's about lies, because they know that they're lying to one another about how they feel about one another, but not putting it out there because of fear of repercussions and what the community is going to say or what their parents are going to say. So the only, like I said, I like this story, but it just didn't go deep enough for me. So this is the only book that I've ever read of Kay's that I only gave 3 out of 5 stars. So, and it's just because it needed to be longer. Okay, so then the next book everybody talks about. If you like Wicked Lies Boys Tell, then you're definitely going to like Feuds and Reckless Fury. I like this better because it gave me more. Like I said, the only complaint that I had with Lies That Boys Tell is that it didn't go deep enough. It was just very surface level to me for my taste, and I like to go deep because I like dark. This is Feuds and Reckless Fury. This definitely goes deep, and I absolutely loved it. And it's about Alistair and Canyon. So Alistair and Canyon. And so again, these people, Alistair and Canyon, know each other from growing up. Their dads basically were best friends. It starts off with Canyon's dad leaves his mom and he decides that he's going to marry Alistair's dad, and it throws everybody into an upheaval as a result. You see that Canyon's mom is really struggling with this. Like, she clearly is not handling this well, and she might be suffering from some kind of depression. Canyon has a sister, and his sister is not handling it well, so he basically decides that he is going to go on a bully campaign, and he's going to take out all of his anger about this relationship on Alistair. So it is a bully romance, it is an enemies to lovers type situation, and it delivers in so many ways, because then there's another layer of Alistair was in, foster care. Well, not really foster care in the sense that his mom is a drug addict, and his dad, his biological dad, didn't take care of him, and so his mom drops him off with her brother, and her brother happens to be Alistair's dad, the guy who Canyon's dad then decides to get with. And so Alistair never felt like he belonged anywhere and never felt like he was truly accepted. So you're dealing with his memories and his OCD qualities as a result of the abuse that he experienced and his PTSD and his trauma. And so Canyon is just making this worse by bullying him. There's somebody harassing Alistair, so you're trying to figure out what's going on. So there's so many layers of stuff that's going on in this romantic suspense as well. Like, so you're trying to figure out the, who's doing what to whom and why. So I love that you not only have the dynamic of the angst between, Alistair and Canyon, but then you've got his sister's got stuff going on with people that are in the school. And then you also have the mom that has something going on. And then Alistair's being harassed. And then you've got the dad's dynamic. So there's all this dialogue and dynamics going on amongst many, many characters, which makes it really interesting, and you never get bored because you're constantly jumping from one thing to the next, which makes it really rich and inviting and wonderful and amazing. And so Kay did a great job with this. This is a 5 out of 5 star for sure. Okay, so then I wanted to talk about it, and I emailed Kay about this because she's just and let me say, you guys, and this was the other thing, she sent this to me as just being like a wonderful, wonderful person. And so when I made my order to her, so if you guys are going to order books, don't do it through Amazon. Go to K Webster's website and order from her directly. And you not only do you get monogrammed and personalized books, but she just is an amazing person. So I just wanted to say that as well. Okay, so then I emailed her and I said, listen, hey, I want to read, the taboo stories, and I went ahead and picked up Coach Long, and you guys know that I like to read things in chronological order, and I don't want to miss an arc development that's going on. If I pick up a book and read it as a standalone, I don't want to be all messed up. So she emailed me back and she's like, you can read them as complete standalones if you want to. She's like, or you can read them in the order that that they were written, and you'll have a fine experience either way. There's some cameo experiences or cameos from other characters that pop up. So in the past, I've read this one, and this was, remember I told you Bad, Bad, Bad. And Bad, Bad, Bad was like I told you, it was a 5 out of 5 star for sure. It's like a really short and sweet, 2 different novellas. One was Branch Cherry Girl, the other was Sheriff's Bad Girl, and there's like my dad's best friend and my best friend's dad, so type situation. So they're definitely taboo treats. So this was the first one that she wrote in this world. So then when I looked, I said, well, I want to see what's going on here. So the next book was Coach Long. So I went ahead and read Coach Long in here. And it's true, like they're in the same world, but there was no crossover whatsoever in these books at all. So then I went ahead and read Coach Long. And Coach Long, whoo, this is about River Banks. River moves to this school. It dives right on in. So it's going to feel a little bit insta-lovey, but these are like little snippets, right? So these are taboo treats. And it's definitely a taboo story in that River is 18 and Coach is like 30-something. And right away, they dive into this like forbidden dynamic, and you find out really quickly that they are very highly attracted to one another. And River, obviously, she moves there under mysterious circumstances. You find out that she's attracted to older dudes. You find out the reason, like some stuff went down where she was previously, and then, you know, they are forced to move to this new town. Then some stuff happens with another teacher at this school, so there's this big scandal. So there's all these different layers of dynamics. She's got a best friend, Olivia, and Olivia is like dating Caleb, another friend of theirs, and Caleb's dad, Miles. They go to a party at Caleb's house, and Coach tells her, you're not going because I don't want you there, because, you know, this is a place where, you know, people go to get drunk and do all kinds of stuff. And sure enough, she goes to the party and some drama goes down, but then you see Miles' dad, and you're like, he's got all these locked rooms, and these rooms say different stuff, so you're just like, there's some kink going on. There's drama for days in this book, and I'm telling you that this book is steamy. This is BDSM layers. There is definitely some other taboo stuff that's going on in there. There is, oh, you got to read it. Like, I'm trying to decide if I want to tell you, but I don't want to tell you because I want you to read it. It is really, really, really good. When I say that there is kink and there's BDSM and there's lots of stuff going on, this book delivered in spades. I was like reading this going, whew, whew. It's amazing. It's so good. So don't sleep on it. Okay, check it out for sure. So I already had this book, and then my plan was to read The Glue next. But then I looked and I was like, X-rated attraction. I was like, X-rated attraction. And I went and looked and I was like, oh, it's Miles. And now, and Miles' dad and Olivia, because in this book, Miles' dad, Caleb's dad, breaks up a fight. And River is like, he just whispered something in her ear. Miles whispered something in Olivia's ear. I want to know what that was. And she says, Olivia, what did he say to you? And she goes, oh, nothing, it's not a big deal. And so then they go to this kink club, and lo and behold, the person in this book who owns the kink club, she's with Coach, she's with Olivia, and it's River and Coach Long, and at this kink club, and Olivia's with them. And after a little while of them being there, Miles snatches up Olivia and he goes to Coach and to River. He's like, I'm taking her home. She's not here legally. She needs to go home. And they leave, so you don't find out what's going on. So when this book ends, you're left with, there's something with Miles, something with Olivia. Olivia has got some serious fetish kinks that she wants to try out, but she's super innocent. She doesn't know how to go about doing it. And so you're like, so my plan was to read The Glue, but I was like, I need to rear and backtrack. And lo and behold, that was the second book, X-Rated Attraction. So then I was like, well, let me go ahead and pick it up. So I picked it up on my Kindle. And this book it's short, it's sweet, it's like just a little morsel, and it is so good. You find out that Olivia takes this while she's at the club with those guys. She wanders off to go explore. And as she explores, she takes this kink test. And she finds out that she's a 10. And everybody at the club is like ready to pounce on her because they're like, you're a 10. And later she asks Miles, what does it mean if I'm a 10? And he's like, that means you're down for anything. And she is down for anything. And they try all of it, and it's amazing, and it's so good. And but the taboo part is that Olivia is dating Caleb, and Caleb is Miles' son. So this is my boyfriend's dad type situation. And so you want to talk about birthday girl? This puts birthday girl to shame. And even though it's like short and sweet, so you didn't get to get really into it, but for as short as it is, it delivers in spades. It is so, so good. The kink is really good. The storyline is really good. How her dad finds out what's going on between them. Olivia's dad is super good. And then it sets up the next books in the story. Olivia has a sister named Sophia. Sophia is injured, and as a result of her injury, she has to see a physical therapist. She goes through a number of physical therapists, and it seems like it's setting it up for Crybaby. And that's one of the other taboo treats. And Drew, who is Miles' best friend, is the owner of the physical therapy clinic that Sophia has to wind up going to. So it really, really is good. And so if you guys are interested, go to Kay's website, and Kay's website tells you how to read these books, like if you want to read them in a particular order, but you can see that this is how to read them there. So that was X-Rated Attraction, 5 out of 5 star. Go check it out. So you guys, that is all that I have for today. I think I'm gonna have, well, I don't think, I know. There's gonna be, next week I'm gonna do part 3 of K Webster's, because I got a ton more of K Webster books to read. So I'm gonna read those, and then I'll go ahead and do an upload for you guys so you can see a continuation of my dark romance read. I hope that you guys love K Webster as much as I do, because she delivers in so many ways, and I'm just really happy to report that she gives you fun stuff. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining me, and you know I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I will see you in my next video.